When you think of pop music, you probably think of a lot of things. Simple production with earworm melodies, lyrics centered on partying and having the time of your lives, and most of all, romance. A love story, baby just say yes. You make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. I'm so into you. The idea of those butterflies in your stomach just at the thought of someone else are synonymous with pop as a genre. But like anything else, this building block of romance has to have a foil, and pop doesn't mess around in that department either. Whether you're Justin Timberlake expressing indignance and disgust at your former partner, Olivia Rodrigo mourning the milestones you'll never get to see with them, or Beyonce just straight up threatening her husband, the breakup songs, and in some cases breakup albums, can take many different forms and have been a mainstay of pop just as long as love songs themselves. Now, a lot of times these albums come from artists who are on top of the world and simply have to make some sort of statement on their romantic life just to control the narrative. Like Thank You Next from Ariana Grande, which was essentially a very catchy form of damage control. But there is something truly special about a storied artist bursting back onto the scene with an axe to grind, and that's exactly what we got from Lily Allen with the best pop album of the year, West End Girl. When I say axe to grind, I mean it. This album is absolutely no fluff, just 14 tracks and 45 minutes of Lily chronicling the collapse of her 4-year-long marriage with actor David Harbour. While Lily has said the album is inspired by those events and not gospel, there's details here that you don't just pull out of thin air, such as Alan's anger that the other woman in her relationship wasn't just an affair for her husband, but he took her to play tennis, something he refused to do with Alan herself. The strategy of leaning into anger makes this play a lot better for me than other pop music breakup songs and albums, which tend to lean into despair. That obviously still works, but for me personally, I'm a bigger fan of Good For You than Driver's License when it comes to Olivia Rodrigo's catalog, or Lorde throwing caution to the wind because her ex sucks in Greenlight. I think the best comparison point for an album as laser focused on one emotion as this one is an album that predates anything I've talked about today, Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette. Another breakup album that conceals all of its rage right on the surface. It's not surprising to see Alan able to pull textual inspiration from music over 30 years old at this point. Not only is she 40, which in pop terms is ancient compared to her contemporaries, but she's also a British pop artist, and those tend to have a lot more throwback sound and more reverence for past artists. Even the up-and-comers from that region, like Olivia Dean and Ray, have a sound that feels like a postcard to days of pop music gone by. Speaking of anger, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I'm hungry, I can become so angry that it's difficult to function in any way, shape, or form. And when I'm in that mindset, I reach for Soli fruit jerky strips. I can be really bad about snacking, and Soli provides a low-effort and healthy snack that I can reach for in the middle of my day whenever I need a boost. Soli fruit jerky strips are made from only whatever fruit is the main ingredient in that flavor, whether it's mango, raspberry, pineapple. So if you're looking for a healthy snack to add to your routine, make sure to reach for Soli fruit jerky strips. This album's biggest strength lies in how focused it is on one point of view and telling that specific story. Alan's sardonic wit really elevates the material here. She's always been one of pop music's funniest voices, and that levity prevents this very heavy material from feeling like a drag while still feeling tonally consistent. Despite the album ostensibly being about Alan's entire world shifting, she manages to bring a bit of levity to it, such as on one of my favorite tracks, Dallas Major, which explores Alan trying to move on from her failed marriage and enter the dating app scene. This premise alone is rife with material to riff on, but specifically her saying, "I'm a mom to teenage children, does that sound fun to you?" is a level of self-awareness you aren't going to get from every pop star. Not to just speak on the lyrical content of this album, it is also sonically incredible. My runaway favorite is absolutely the album's title track, which also happens to be its opener. I absolutely love how idyllic this track sounds with the strings and innocent-sounding backing vocals that accentuate some of the lyrics in the verses. It works as such a good contrast to the rest of the album since this opener is basically the only time Alan isn't actively spiraling about the state of her marriage. The happy instrumental continuing to score the absolutely gut-wrenching phone call that the listener only hears Alan's end of sets the tone so well for everything the album's about. Just a 10 out of 10 thesis statement that the next 13 tracks hit out of the park. That juxtaposition flows perfectly into the second track, Ruminating, which is an auto-tune nightmare where Alan spins out about being across an entire ocean from her husband while their marriage continues to struggle. It might sound like I'm not a fan of this one since I called it an auto-tune nightmare, but that's meant with complete love. The alien soundscapes compared to the calming strings of the previous track convey the idea of overthinking and feeling trapped and helpless in your own mind so well, and are just another example of this album's themes working in lockstep with the music itself. I won't take you through track by track, but the next few tracks do a really good job of putting you in Alan's head as she unravels how deep her husband's promiscuity goes. With an all-time moment at the end of Tennis where she name drops her husband's mistress, which leads right into the track of the same name. This section really culminates with one of the album's high points titled, yeah, I'm not saying that, sorry Lily. But regardless, this track is incredible. The dreamlike electronic soundscape really feeds into the vibe that this just doesn't feel like reality for Alan, as if rummaging through their shared apartment and finding all these secret letters from past mistresses is an out-of-body experience for her. I hate to sound like a broken record, guys, but this is just another example of the music amplifying the text. It's all over this album, and it makes it so damn good. This wallowing leads so well into the album's final third, where instead of deciding to shrink further and be sad, Lily Allen just decides to bury the motherfucker. The final track, starting with "You're just a little boy looking for his mommy" and having a chorus that states, "And I finally see, it's not me, it's you," pretty much sums it up. The decision to end the album with her head held high in spite of the strife caused by its contents was the only way this could have ended. There's no second guessing, no what could I have done differently moments, just the succinct message that he sucks, I'm done, and I'm better off for it. Now, a common criticism of this album is that it's tabloid drama set to music. And while yes, the drama of Lily Allen's life certainly pushed this album to the forefront of the music world, I think that criticism kind of falls apart upon further examination of the album itself. Allen gives you the full story, beginning to end. These aren't Taylor Swift-style references being dropped in at a whim that you have to have a deep knowledge of her personal life to understand. She lays it all out there for you from track 1 to track 14. I just really admire that level of textual focus and bluntness in an album. It really feels like using the album medium to its full potential when a lot of pop albums today have track lists that feel more like suggestions rather than a clear, correct way to listen to the project. And it's that ingenuity mixed with a razor-sharp pen that make West End Girl the best pop album of the year. Well, those are all my thoughts, but I want to hear what you guys think. Go listen to West End Girl and form your own opinions. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, take it easy.